Hello, my name is Sergio and I'm going to present you my project of history of the museum. The first museum we visit was the Regional Museum of Guadalajara of the 18th century. Its construction began around the 1742 and 1860 years later and built in stone factory. Its original use was to school seminar of Saint Joseph. During the War of Independence was headquarters of the insurgent troops and Spanish prisons. In 1863, the ground floor was occupied with the State Library, and from the second half of the 19th century shared the property with the Grammar School of Men. Museum was inaugurated on the 10th of November of 1980, and the initiative of George Farias and the name of the Museum of Fine Arts, Ethnology and Instruction of Fine Arts and Artistic Education of Guadalajara. That later became the first director until his death, the 16th of March of 1873 to the 14th of November of 1947, part of the National Institute of Anthropology and History since its creation in 1939. It's opened to the public as a regional museum in the year of 1966. The most interesting object is a fully body of skeleton of a mammoth of Catalina. The bones are original except the tail and the finger of the back foot. They live 17 to 18 years. Male used to live alone and have babies that take 22 months to have only a cub. Interesting fact, the tusk is of fiberglass because the original were very fragile, and it's a unique fossil because it's 90% complete with all the bones of the mammoth. The Columbus mammoth was large but had no hair because where they live the climate was very hot in that region. The, the guide of the museum explained us why the dinosaur died. He gave us three different theories. One was the climate change. The second theory was of diseases, such as sickness to the dinosaurs. The third theory, and the more acceptable, was the manhunt to extinction. That time there were a little bit of people, but they started growing, and obviously they needed to eat more and more because there were more people. Then they start hunting until they extinct. They had many dinosaurs such as the saber-tooth and the rhinoceros, but one that I like was a Megalodon that measured 2 to 3 meters high and his weight was of 3 tons. Also the Glyptodon, it was a giant armadillo with the size of the Volkswagen that ate grass. His height was of 3 meters and his weight was of 250 kilos. Also, it was like a mini tank because he had like a mini armor. The next one in my favorite was the Megatherium. He was a giant sloth. It was of ground and had 3 fingers and had large claws, using his claws to climb trees, and his brain was as the size of a peanut. It was omnivorous, so that means that he ate meat and grass or leaves. His height was of 6 meters and his weight was of 3 to 4 tons. The next museum, and the more interesting for me, is the Museum of Ripley. Around the world there are 50 museums of Ripley, most notable that of Guadalajara. In 2005 was considered the best franchise in the world. Robert Ripley was an illustrator, cartoonist, journalist, adventure collector, and above all, create a traveler that between 20 to 15 set out to travel the world and collect strange, exotic, and incredible objects. It became enormously popular for spreading the great rarities in the world through the illustration trip, although you might not believe it, which is also translated incredible but not true. At the highest point of the popularity, the street were established over 360 newspapers around the world, were translated into 70 languages, and had about 18 million daily readers. At present, the strip 200 appearance print media in 42 countries. The museum, part of the incredible collection of unusual objects staying Robert L. Ripley made through the years, such as torture device, Egyptian legends, ancient ritual, religious and custom of different civilizations, Egyptian, African, Chinese, Hindu, etc. Also, you can experiment with optical effects, physiological and physical alterations, and watch various artistic expressions. The Ripley Museum is located next to the Wax Museum. They are combined with tickets to visit both. The next and last museum, and the funniest for my opinion, was the Wax Museum of Guadalajara, opened for first time 1944 on Liberty Street. Later, it changed to the current location of Calle Morelos. It was displaying more than 120 figures of historical figures and current political, cultural, artistic fields and fantasy of Mexico and the world. Its 12 rooms are adapted to accommodate the figures, creating an ideal environment for each character. The museum gallery updates its guests and often also has a hall of mirrors where fun, losing and finding, and was the more funniest and fun thing that we visit in all the museums and in all the trips in this year. The Wax Museum is located next to the Ripley Museum. They are combining tickets to visit both. Oh, well, this is the end of the video, but I want to say you something. I think that it is a very good trip to go and visit the tree museum because they are very important and historical. The regional museum have many ancient things and the best objects are the fossils and the dinosaurs they have. The Ripley Museum have many unique things and special things that you might not think that existed, and the best objects that I think was the shark of dollars and the Titanic piece of the boat. The museum of wax is pretty good because they have many important persons that you see that they are real, and each time they change them for new ones. And I like it that you can make the hand of wax of each color you want. You can enter to the tunnel that makes circles and you get dizzy. And the best thing of the trip was the Hall of Mirrors because it was long, it was fun. You can spend a good time with your friends, familiars, because you need to search for the exit of the hall, and sometimes it's very frustrating because you want to go out to do peace, or I don't know, or you are with hungry and you need to search for the exit. I want to thank the Miss Diana because he prepared this project. It was a very good project, the best of the year, because we went out of school, we spent a good time with the teachers and our friends, and the project was very interesting because it's something new that we haven't not do in the other years or in the other subjects. Thank you for watching this video.